This program is part of the Cosmic Potato Podcast Network. For more shows like this, visit our website at cosmicpotato.com.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
I am Iron Man. That's a big twink.
Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds.
You are a toy!
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Why so serious?
The city's flying. We're fighting an army of robots. And I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
And welcome to World War G episode 214. I'm Troy.
I'm AJ.
We're recording for the first time
Yeah.
on these really legitimately
Legit mics, yeah.
fancy mics this time. We talked about fancy mics before, and they were not,
Guitar, rock band
Yeah.
mics.
but these are actual nice fancy mics. So if our voices sound,
I feel like we finally made it.
yeah. So if our voices sound clear and sharp and crisp, that's why.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Easy on the ears, you know. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So it's April 7th, which means it is time for our bracket tournament.
Yes.
All the votes have been tallied. All of the movies have been counted. I took them all, sent them over to you, and you created the list.
We've got 4 different categories. We've got superheroes, action, sci-fi, and what was it?
Animated.
Animated. Yeah.
And it looks like we have some pretty good movies this time.
Like right off the bat, it seems like there's some pretty heavy competition going against each other. If you look at some of those.
I mean, I'll post the first round up on our March Movie Madness in April page on Facebook. So if you aren't part of that, then you should be, because that's where all the voting is going to take place.
Right.
So the first round in superhero is going to be Avengers Infinity War versus Doctor Strange. In action, it's going to be Warrior versus Pulp Fiction. Animated, it's going to be Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse versus Wizards. Sci-fi, it's going to be Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan versus Star Trek Beyond. So that's just going to be the first round.
Yeah.
Care to make any predictions? What movie you think might go all the way, or some that might surprise people?
No, I mean for the most part, like, because it was kind of interesting. It was really interesting this year. Like for the most part, we would have, in previous years we would have 3 and 5 and 4 and 6 and 7 votes for certain movies. Yeah. This one, it seemed like a lot of them, it was 5 of one movie, and then you'd have 2 of another, and then all the rest of them were a single vote.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So it seems like the competition's going to be a little bit closer this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a lot more in past years. We got a lot more votes for movies overall.
Correct.
But I think like you were saying, in this year we got not as many movies, but I think all
a higher caliber.
Yeah. All the picks are really solid. So it's going to be interesting. Just looking at how the rounds are going to shake out, and yeah, I'm hoping that this year a superhero film doesn't win.
Yeah.
Because a superhero film has won every year previous.
So in previous years, we've had the Avengers. Didn't we have Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah.
Mulan last year came pretty close to winning it.
It did. Our first winner was The Dark Knight.
Yes.
And I think it was the Avengers. And then Guardians of the Galaxy. And then I think it was it Civil War?
Yes, you're right. Yep, it was.
Yeah. I want to say, was there another one or was that it?
I think those were the only ones. Because we were talking about there was enough of them that we could have technically done like a Final Four with those.
Right.
To claim one supreme champion.
Right. Yeah. So I have my fingers crossed that maybe we'll get a non-superhero film. But with Avengers Infinity War in there.
Right.
That one, much like Thanos, is going to be very difficult to beat.
Aw, snap.
Oh, snap. So we'll see what happens. Like, I'd love to see like Coco win the whole thing, or
what's a really like strong animated
Future.
one?
Out of what we have here, Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, still a superhero movie, but an animated one?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. If you're going non-animated or non-superhero animated film, I mean, Ratatouille,
Toy Story.
Toy Story.
Those are solid movies. Toy Story 3.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun. We have, you put every Toy Story in there, and every Back to the Future movie in there.
Yeah.
I like it.
Can't go wrong with those.
You're going to see which one reigns supreme of the trilogies. I like it. All right. So let's move on to our stories here. So, and again, obviously, Colton's not here. His little baby Hodor is still in the hospital, but she's doing much better.
Not holding the door, though.
She's not. Nope. She's doing much better, and she should be leaving the hospital here.
Use her as a doorstop and just
should be leaving the hospital here momentarily, or in the next couple of days. So Colton should be here next week.
Yes, that's the plan.
Yeah, for you Colton fans.
Even when he wasn't here, he still sent us an email with a story that he wanted.
He did. Yeah. You what should we call Colton fans? Colton heads, Colton maniacs, Colton.
I usually leave that up to Colton to like come up with something.
Right,
like
that's true. He would come up. Okay. Anyway, so this was a weird story that I found, and the title intrigued me. Disney bans ice and smoking in theme parks. The smoking I get.
Yeah.
The ice. That's weird. So the big news out of Disneyworld and Disneyland is that they are reducing stroller size limits, which I love, because I don't know, last time we went to Disneyland?
It's been a year.
Okay, but there are some, if you remember, there are some families that bring like these massive strollers for like their 19 kids.
It has like 20 in one row that's pushing it down.
And they're walking so slow and just walking slowly in the middle down Main Street, holding everybody up.
Well, they've got it to the point now that they've got like a stroller section for people to like just park their strollers while they go on these different rides.
Yeah. And
like, it takes a lot of space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember back in my day, had these small little strollers. I think you could rent strollers there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was these tiny little, like, almost paper looking strollers that you could get. My feeling is, if your kid can't walk, don't take them to Disneyland.
They're not going to remember it anyways.
No, they're not going to remember it. Anyway, that's my old man rant.
So what's with the ice though?
Before that, so they've also put in a no smoking policy. So besides banning of strollers starting May 1st, Disney will also eliminate smoking areas from all of the theme parks.
Oh, from both sides?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
I was like, California Adventures kind of plays it like loose,
Right,
so
right.
I don't know.
Smoking will still be permitted outside of the parks at Disney Resort hotels and Disney Springs. So now let's get to the ice. So, unlike, and I'm reading this word for word because it's just easier that way. So unlike the stroller and smoking policies, the no ice policy goes into effect immediately. Disney recommends reusable ice packs to keep coolers cool. However, many Disney resort hotels do not have adequate freezers to freeze ice packs with the exception of deluxe villa resorts, which may have full-size refrigerator and freezer. Disney says that they will provide complimentary cups of ice once you're inside the parks at quick service restaurants. The new rule is a little confusing. It's not clear why Disney has instituted this policy, but some have suspected that it is safety and or security issue, considering that it is an immediate change, and they're still offering ice once guests go through the security checks. So
they had issues with this? Or?
I don't know. I mean, it's ice.
Yeah.
You know, it's frozen water, which even if you spill it, it evaporates and it's gone. So I don't know. But then they're offering ice inside the park. So
is it because you can like create your own kind of ice, add other stuff in it, perhaps?
I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe people are like, well, no, because vodka doesn't freeze.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how I know that.
All right.
No, but I don't know. I mean, maybe they want Disney exclusive ice. Maybe they've gone that far.
Little Mickey Mouse little heads, yeah.
Don't you dare bring in your outside ice.
No.
You buy Disney exclusive ice. I don't know. It's weird. It's really, really weird.
That's just weird. Disney on ice.
Oh, nice. It literally is Disney on ice. Just some of the comments here, really quick. Bare ice is wet and can be leaky and slippery. We use ice packs anyway. I already have a trip planned to Disney World in September. No smoking? Is it because the stupid people walk where the smoking areas are? I guess they can't read. This will be my last trip to Disney. We have no rights.
Oh, they're closing down Disney because of the couple of people that... Yeah.
Maybe the ice thing is to combat people filling their coolers every day from the ice machines at the resorts.
Oh, okay.
I mean, so I don't know. Maybe that's
probably it. That makes the most sense.
Yeah.
I mean, we would do that sometimes on vacation. Is you just go out to the ice machine, fill it up, and fill up your cooler.
So I don't know. I mean, yeah. Let us know if you have any theories of why Disney is banning outside ice.
Tainted ice.
Wow.
Okay, so they are coming out with another Terminator movie. Terminator Dark Fate has official photos now, and it does show Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton, who was the original Sarah Connor.
Right.
Do you think that they're trying... Well, my speculation here is that they're trying to almost revamp the whole entire franchise, similar to what they did with the Halloween movies.
Right.
You know, just, hey, forget about all these other, adaptations and all these other movies and stuff. Remember the original one and remember this one.
Yeah.
To kind of, get them back on track so that they have a less convoluted story.
I think so. I think that's the point, because I think Terminator Genesis was supposed to be kind of that, what you're talking about.
Right.
Kind of maybe a reboot to the franchise, but it failed.
It did, yeah.
So maybe...
Because that had Christian Bale in it and a couple others, right?
No, that's the one that had Emilia Clarke in it.
Oh, okay. See? We're already confused.
Yeah. So maybe, like you said, maybe they're doing what they did with Halloween and they're disregarding the other sequels. And this is going to be more of a direct sequel to the first one.
Yeah.
Because Linda Hamilton... Well, direct sequel to the second one. Because the second one... Yeah. But Linda Hamilton has come out and said that the last 3 Terminator films were crap.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's what it's going to be. It's going to be literally Terminator 3, right after Judgment Day.
They should have just called it that.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean...
Should Arnold Schwarzenegger... Because, the last time that I saw him in a Terminator movie, he was kind of more machine than man.
He's more machine than man.
Right? They just...
Twisted and evil. Sorry. Couldn't help myself.
Yeah. But... they just kind of like had him in there for a second because I think he was still like governor, the governator at the time, so they couldn't really use him. But
I mean, and he was in Genesis. But I mean, he's an old man. He's old Arnold Schwarzenegger, and from the pictures, he's old.
Yeah, he's got gray hair.
Yeah. So I mean, it makes sense because they said the organic material outside of or on top of the T-800 structure is organic and it does age.
Correct.
So, I mean,
that
makes sense, but...
Is this going to be kind of like an Old Man Logan-esque movie?
I hope not. Old Man Terminator?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's just like, I need to use the restroom again. I'll be back. Like...
Yeah. I need your catheter.
Now!
Give it to me now! Get to the catheter!
He's just in like a nursing home. Yeah. Just yelling, berating all these like, CNAs that come in.
I need your catheter, your boots, and your bedpan. Yeah, anyway. So we know that there's going to be a new Hellboy movie.
Yes.
Starring David Harbour, who you'll know from Stranger Things. Well, turns out, now he's kind of been a little bit in demand lately, because he is joining, Black Widow, Marvel's Black Widow, starring Scarlett Johansson, and also probably starring, Emma Watson.
Right.
Which is good. I mean, he's a good actor.
Correct, yeah.
And if you don't remember, he was also in Suicide Squad.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So he's kind of crossing over. He's crossing the streams there, which a few have done. Including Idris Elba, which we'll talk about later.
Don't you think... Doesn't this seem a little, like, preemptive? Let's see how well the movie does, Hellboy does, and then see if we want to do, like, a crossover or involve them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Hellboy will do okay. Mm-hmm. Will it be a massive blockbuster? Probably not. It's coming out around Endgame, so probably not.
Well, it could still take second place.
That's true. But, I mean, he's still coming off of, like, Stranger Things and, I mean, the dude has success under his belt, so maybe that's what they're thinking.
How is that going to even, like... Because those two worlds are pretty different, unless they ground... Well, I guess they still deal with, like, espionage and kind of, like...
Right.
MI6, those kind of guys, like, where the guys behind, like, you don't see, like, in the shadows.
Yeah. And I could see David Harbour playing, like, some sort of special forces agent or, like, SHIELD agent or something.
See, I was under the impression that they were actually bringing Hellboy.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
The actor David Harbour will be in Black Widow.
That makes a heck of a lot more sense.
Okay.
I was thinking, like, Hellboy is going to be in Black Widow. That's just bizarre.
Oh, no. No. David Harbour will be in it.
Okay. Whew. Okay. That makes more sense.
Okay.
Speaking of actors, John Cho to star in a Netflix Cowboy Bebop live action series. Now, I know you're not too familiar with, like, anime.
No, I'm not.
This is kind of an interesting choice. It'll be kind of different to see what they actually do with this, because this to me is one of those original animes that I watched, like, growing up. You had, like, Trigun and Cowboy Bebop, and they've even done, like, a animated movie, which I watch, like, every Halloween. It's fantastic. It's got one of the coolest fight scenes on a train that I've seen to date, but I don't know, like, because I was looking at some of the other casting, and I'm still not sold on the whole idea. John Cho, the last movie that I saw him in was wasn't he in Searching?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Which he did a good job with that.
He did a great job.
Yeah.
That's a great film. No, Cowboy Bebop. Anytime my ex-wife and I would talk about anime, because she was a big anime fan.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really into it. There was always a few that she would always mention that was kind of a gateway anime.
Yeah.
And Cowboy Bebop was one of them.
This is for sure one of them. Yeah.
She mentioned that one. She mentioned Trigun. She mentioned...
Full Metal Alchemist, perhaps?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But at the same time, the live-action anime films aren't doing great. Like Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't do well.
Not at all. And to go straight to Netflix, I mean, I'm sure... Because they did... Like, the last one that I saw on Netflix that they did was the Death Note one.
Yeah.
And that was horrible.
Yeah, that wasn't great. However, Alita Battle Angel, I think, did pretty well.
Yeah?
If I'm not mistaken, it did okay.
Yeah?
So, I think, I don't know, because I don't know much about the Cowboy Bebop story. I mean, would it lend itself well to live action?
He's a space cowboy. It would be Firefly-esque.
Okay.
To try to, like, sum up the whole... And, like, the anime itself is relatively short. It doesn't have too many episodes in it. I think there's, like, 20 or less.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be that difficult to, adapt it to a movie length. But...
All right.
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess it also stars Mustafa Shakur, Daniela Pineda from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and Alex Hassel, if you know any of them.
Not really.
Fair enough. If I say the name Rian Johnson, you might remember that he was the director of Star Wars Episode 8.
Yes.
The Last Jedi. That, to put it lightly, some people did not like. To put it mildly.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine, personally.
I didn't have any issues with it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Some people really, really hate that film. So, now that J.J. Abrams is coming back to direct Episode 9, a lot of people are wondering, if Episode 9 will correct a lot of things from Episode 8, will it retcon a lot of things? And Rian Johnson was at CinemaCon, and he was asked this. He was asked if he thinks, or if he cares, that Episode 9 might change things that he did in Episode 8. And this is what he said. He said, quote, "Like I said, man, I want to let go of all my expectations. I want to sit back. I want to be entertained. I want to be surprised. I just want to be thrilled. I want him to do stuff that I wasn't expecting him to do and just go along for the ride. For me, that's why I go to the movies, So he doesn't care.
No.
Which irritates me.
Just a little bit?
Yeah, because Star Wars, if you're given a Star Wars movie to direct, you think you should have a bit more passion for it.
Than just not caring and just being all, okay.
Like, man, whatever.
Yeah. I go to the movies to be entertained. I'm like, that's like a basketball player when they say, like, you just go out there and give 110%.
Yeah.
Just a standard kind of nonchalant, like, whatever, brush it off kind of an answer.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if Episode 9 changes anything from Episode 8. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, Episode 9 comes out this year, right?
Right.
Okay. It's already April. I think it comes out in December. We don't know the title of the film.
The trailer.
There's no
casting.
trailers. There's been nothing about it.
Yeah.
So maybe they're waiting until summer to put all this out.
Okay.
But I mean,
okay. they're pretty confident that it's a Star Wars movie, so it's going to do well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not like too worried about.
And it's going to be episode 9. It's going to be kind of the end of that story. So yeah, it's going to do huge. But I remember episode 7. At this point, we were inundated with merchandise.
Oh yeah,
we had a teaser trailer. We knew the names of the people, of the characters.
there was all this like speculation like circling the internet as far as what direction they were going to go.
Yeah, I mean it was everywhere. But with this one, I haven't seen anything.
No,
like I keep forgetting that it's coming out this year.
Yeah,
but I guess we'll see. Yeah, maybe they'll have a preview for it on Endgame. I can see that.
That could be pretty cool.
Yeah, I still think we'd hear something about it, but I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. Star Wars, you do you.
You do you.
Norman Reedus addresses the future, his future on The Walking Dead. He had a couple of remarks to say, and they were kind of interesting. He's just like, I don't want to go anywhere. I'll burn down the whole studio if they get rid of me. Reedus stressed, as he saying that he didn't have any plans to go elsewhere. Yeah, it was just he might not, and that's the thing with The Walking Dead is they've killed off quite a few of the main characters, the original cast, and they've definitely strayed far away from what they're doing with like the comic book series and kind of making their own thing. But to me, it doesn't feel like they have a strong secondary group of people that could really take over as leaders. I mean, they've got a few that could do all right, that might remain with the franchise, but he's like one of the last few. And I know that he doesn't, like we were joking about earlier, he doesn't have anything or any intentions to leave, but who's to say?
Doesn't mean the creators don't.
Yeah.
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 I don't know. Maybe he'll be like Tyrion from Game of Thrones and just probably, I'm saying probably, I don't know, but live through the whole series.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be the one that goes from beginning to end.
Do you think that will actually hurt his career? Because I know that he's already tried to do a couple of other like side projects with like that motorcycle.
His career will be dead after The Walking Dead.
Right?
It will. I mean, because he's not. He fits in perfectly to that series. Right. But as an actor, he's not that great. And he's very dull. And he's very boring. And he's very bland.
And one-dimensional.
So he fits well into Walking Dead. But he can't shoulder an entire movie himself or an entire series himself. He just can't. He doesn't have the charisma.
Potentially see him doing a lot of voice acting.
Yep.
In the future.
I see that.
I know that he is in. They've still got him actually in a couple of video games.
Yeah,
that are coming out. That one Dead something or other that comes out pretty soon.
I don't remember.
It's for like the PS4, where he's kind of like this dude that ends up on this island or like this place that's set in the future and doesn't know what's going on.
I forgot what it's called. Dead Rising, Dead Sun, Dead
something or other.
Something. I don't know.
Dead Career?
Probably. That's where it's headed. Okay. So this story came from Colton. He sent it over to us. Said, Suicide Squad, Deadshot removed from sequel as Idris Elba moves to new character. So
his original plan was to take over for Will Smith.
Right.
Now that's not the case. Like they're not bringing Will Smith's character back at all.
Right. Yeah, they're completely removing Deadshot from the film. And it doesn't say here what character he will be playing, but he's definitely no longer playing Deadshot. Which I think is kind of a shame, because I thought he would have been a good Deadshot.
Yeah?
Frankly. I thought he would have done pretty well with that character, but I don't know. Maybe they'll move him into another super villain role. Maybe they'll make him some sort of government agent or something like that. Or I don't know.
No. Death Stranding. Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right. So, there's been a few trailers that have come out as of recently that I think we need to discuss.
Yes.
That we need to talk about.
Some trailer trash.
Yep. The first one is this Joker trailer that just came out a few days ago. When Joaquin Phoenix was first cast as the Joker, people were, at least from what I saw, people were genuinely like, okay, sure.
It's got potential, sure.
Yeah.
This was back when they also thought that there was going to be another one with, there was going to be like 3 Joker movies, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there was going to be one with Jared Leto. There's going to be one that was going to be directed by Martin Scorsese. I mean,
that was going to be starring
Leonardo
DiCaprio.
DiCaprio.
Yes.
Yeah. Those were all scrapped, but this one survived.
It's clawed its way to the top of the pile.
Yep. And we got our first look at the movie. It had a full length. Well, no, I think it's a teaser trailer. And my initial response was, this is weird.
Mm-hmm.
This makes me feel uncomfortable. And it feels very, very unsettling.
Like in a cool, interesting way?
No,
Like
this makes me feel dirty kind of way.
Why was that?
Well, the way they shot it, the way he's playing this character, it's just really uncomfortable. Like how he's always putting his fingers in his mouth to make that grin, and how he did it to young Bruce Wayne in the trailer, and it's like you're not watching a supervillain origin story. You're watching the origin of like a serial killer.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like a real life serial killer.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because that's what Joker is. But it's like you're watching
Ted Bundy.
Yeah, Ted Bundy or John Wayne Gacy or something.
Yeah.
Or, it just feels off. But then I thought, well, that makes sense because it's the origin of the Joker. It's like when you're watching the trailer, it's like you almost are jumping into his mind. Like it's weird and it's unsettling and nothing about it makes sense. And you feel disturbed and you feel unsettled and you feel like there's something wrong here.
To me, this felt a little bit like a drawn out Killing Joke. Yeah, the main premise of that one was the Joker kidnaps Commissioner Gordon and then just says like, "Hey, let me give you the worst day possible, and see, you're gonna do the exact same thing that I would have done if because that's what happened to the Joker is he had like a really bad, it was like a bad week, but like a really bad day, and that's what kind of like flipped that switch and turned him into the Joker and made him go all psychotic.
Yeah.
So he was trying to prove it, but it just seems like it's kind of like drawn out. Like this is his descent into madness, but I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence. Like I'll probably go see it, but I don't know. I'm not like super hyped for it.
Yeah, and I think more than anything, it's a film depicting someone who has a mental disorder and who can be pushed if you don't reach out and help these people, how it shows how they can spiral down basically into madness.
It's a cry for help.
And so there's a lot when you look at that trailer, there's a lot to unpack and there's a lot to look at, and it seems like, I'm pretty sure it takes place in the 80s, and it seems like his Joker is kind of becoming a symbol of those that have been kind of the downtrodden, the dregs of society. He's kind of become an inspiration for people to kind of rise up against society, almost like a V for Vendetta type of person.
Yeah.
At least that's what it seems like, because in the trailer you see a lot of people wearing masks of him. And it seems like there's a lot of riots going on with people in clown makeup, and
that he's kind of started a revolution.
Yeah, that he started something. And
we did throw this up on Facebook and got like 215 votes, and 159 of them said yes, and 56 of them said no as far as going to see the movie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's going to do well, but...
I mean, me personally, I'm intrigued.
Okay.
I want to see where this goes. Because I wasn't overall... I didn't think that this was going to be, like, take place in the DC universe. I thought they were just going to call this movie Joker, and it was just going to be kind of maybe loosely based on the character. But no, it takes place in the DC universe. You see that they're in Gotham City. There is an Arkham hospital, you know, so it does take place in that universe.
Think they'll introduce a couple other characters?
Well, I know Thomas Wayne is in it. And like I said, young Bruce Wayne is in it.
The Joker's therapist, perhaps, as well?
They actually show her, but she is a black woman. I think her last name is Kane. But I don't think Harley will be in it. I would say never, but I wouldn't think so.
Okay.
Because it seems like this movie is just kind of pushing away from everything we know about the Joker.
Yeah.
So I think they're just kind of going in an entirely new direction. And I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be a weird film. Yeah. It almost looks like a Scorsese film that happens to revolve around a comic book villain. It's strange. I'll say that. But another trailer, well, we have a couple that have come out that I think everybody's excited for.
Yeah. Go on.
Which is Avengers Endgame. We've had a couple trailers at this point.
The full-length trailer that came out, like, I guess last month, that to me kind of it showcased Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Captain America.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, it showed off their new looks, basically. As well as, like, the one thing that, like, I'm still, I don't know, when you have Iron Man that was speaking in the beginning, and he's like, I wanted to pull off one more, what was it? How did he word it? It was like one more surprise or one more thing.
I told you no more surprises. I was hoping to pull off one last one.
Yeah, it almost made it sound as if, like, you know, he's going to be home for Christmas kind of a deal.
I think that's kind of what he was saying. He was hoping that it would be a surprise for him to come back, because when we left him, he was stranded in space.
Right.
So maybe that's what he was referring to. But we know in the trailer, they showed him, he makes it back.
Yeah.
And the Avengers kind of get rebooted, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, obviously, the staples, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye. But then you also have
Captain
War
Marvel.
Machine, Captain Marvel, Rocket Raccoon, and Nebula from Guardians. And it's taken almost 11 years, but I think I'll finally get my scene
Rocket Raccoon.
between Rocket and Tony Stark. I think I'll finally get it. It's
Well,
only
if
taken
it-
10 years
if it-
and 22 films.
If it doesn't happen this one, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not seeing
Then
it
it's not going to
happening.
happen. Yeah. But man, these trailers, they show a lot. At the same time, they show nothing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It leaves you with a lot more questions than it does any answers.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's their intent, but still, it's, man.
I've read and seen a few kind of breakdowns of the trailers and kind of some theories that people have kind of put out there. It seems like some people are thinking that there's an initial battle with Thanos that the Avengers lose again. And then time passes, and that's when, like, Ant-Man shows up again. That's when they start to formulate a new plan, maybe go back in time, through the quantum realm. That's just my theory.
Yeah.
But because people are looking at Black Widow's hair, because in some shots she has that shorter blonde hair, and in other shots she has long red hair. So people are thinking, with a little blonde, so people are thinking that it's grown. That's how long it's grown. So people are speculating that this film takes place over the span of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also
Which would
giving
be cool.
Hawkeye plenty of time to get like a whole sleeve tattoo.
Get a whole sleeve tattoo, yep.
And like get a mohawk.
I think he looks cool. I think this is kind of an answer to people saying that Hawkeye has always been like the worst Avenger.
Uh-huh.
So I think it's like, all right, well, let's make him like, because he's going to be Ronin. He's going to be this ninja kind of awesome lone character.
Lone wolf kind of deal, yeah.
I think it looks cool. So yeah, so we'll see what happens there. But man, I think this film is already, the pre-sales alone have already outpaced or close to outpacing Star Wars Episode 7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's some impressive numbers.
This movie is going to break every record. I'm pretty sure. Biggest opening weekend, biggest opening week, biggest opening month, everything is going to break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then watch they pull an Avatar and release it in 3D as well.
I hope not. That'd be, yeah. So, speaking of Avengers, I mean, who's gonna die? Who do you think is gonna eat it permanently? Is not coming back.
Captain America.
Really?
Yeah. I think that. I mean, because I was thinking about him, like which one would hurt the most if they were to die?
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, because he's got such honor and integrity, and he's just like, you know, like stand up kind of a guy, and to have him die, that'd just be like, oh man, that's rough.
Yeah. I personally think it's Tony Stark.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, because he already kind of had his moment where he could have potentially died, in one of the other Avengers movies.
Well, here's the thing. All of this started with Tony Stark, right? With the first Iron Man in 2008. And he has been...
So it'll end with Iron Man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he has been kind of the through line of all these films.
Right.
And so
that's true. Even like with Civil War, he's involved, and like all these, and he was actually at
Spider-Man.
Well, okay, even what's the Avengers: Age of Ultron?
Yeah,
he was the reason that one happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it started with him. It's gonna end with him.
Dang, that's man.
And I think he's gonna end up sacrificing himself, and I think that's gonna be the end of Tony Stark.
Dun dun dun. And then like nobody want to play Iron Man again.
I was gonna say, will it be the end of Iron Man? Probably not. Because you still have War Machine.
Mm-hmm.
You still have Riri Johnson, who is Iron Heart in the comics.
Right.
Not my favorite character, but so I think and Iron Man will continue to exist, but I think Tony's gonna eat it.
Okay.
It's gonna be one of the two. For sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I would be about like 90% sure it's going to be one of those two.
Other characters I wouldn't be surprised to see die. Hawkeye, Thor, Bruce Banner. Really, any of the original Avengers, I wouldn't be surprised to see 1 or 2 or 3 of them bite the dust.
They already kind of like took a big blow with Loki dying.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think they're kind of going to... This movie, along with... It's basically the culmination, the end of all these films, what it's been leading up to. It's also, I think, going to be a symbolic passing of the torch.
Yeah.
Passing the torch to like Captain Marvel, Black Panther, Spider-Man,
Bucky,
to kind of carry on that
Scarlet
legacy
Witch.
and kind of start a new chapter in the MCU. Oh, by the way, speaking of the MCU, when I went and watched Shazam, they had a preview for Dark Phoenix.
Okay.
So I was watching it again, and there's a scene where all the X-Men are caught and like they're in this train. Right? Do you remember that? And it
yes,
had like these little neck things are probably keeping their powers down. If you notice on the guards, the patch that they have on their arm is MCU.
Is it really?
Yeah. So I don't know if that was intentional. It probably stands for a mutant containment unit or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it says MCU. I thought,
oh, wow.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
If that was intentional, that was funny.
Huh.
It's like they're holding the X-Men hostage. You know, they've captured them. Yeah.
Without us, you can't have these crossovers.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was probably unintentional, but I thought that was personally funny. Anyway, speaking of superhero films, I went and watched Shazam.
Okay.
And it was freaking great.
Really?
It was awesome.
Before we even started recording, I did ask you, I'm like, okay, is this like your favorite DC movie? And yeah.
Yep. I mean, Man of Steel is close, but this one, there's just a lot. Man of Steel would have been great if it had the kind of humor that Shazam did.
Okay.
Which
is difficult to do when they were going for like more brooding kind of darker film.
But now they're realizing, we can have humor in these films. So
it's like DC is still trying to figure out what they want, what they are. Mm-hmm. You know,
I think they're getting closer with Aquaman and now Shazam. I think they're striking a tone where they want their movies to be.
Okay.
So here's the premise of,
and they go with the Joker movie.
Well. I don't think that's part of that But anyway, so here is the premise of Shazam. So there's this young boy named Billy Batson, this young orphan kid. He's been living on the streets for a while. He's in and out of foster homes. And you've seen it in the trailer. After beating up on some bullies, he's in the subway and he ends up at the Rock of Eternity with the wizard Shazam. And he becomes a superhero anytime he says the name Shazam.
Okay.
And what I really enjoy about this movie is, like I said, it has a lot of humor in it. And most of the humor comes from Shazam and Freddy, his foster brother, who was one of the kids in It. Freddy.
Yeah.
It's just the way that they talk, the way they communicate, it's very authentic. Like when I think about how I used to talk to my friends back when I was a kid, that's kind of how it sounds. It's kind of how it seems. It's like if one of you, when you were 15, became a superhero, they're doing the kind of stuff you would do.
Yeah.
In that case, like they're saying, well, we should test out your powers, see what your powers are. Are you, can you fly? Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you teleport? Can you, those kind of things. They come out of a convenience store with like all this candy and blah, 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 all that type of stuff. Like, it's just something that they would do.
Right.
Or you would do if you were a child who was a superhero.
That, in essence, kind of, it almost makes me think like a Disney original movie. You know what I mean? Like one of those TV Disney movies.
Yeah, I get it, but it's not as dumb.
Okay.
And that's the other thing. Yeah, this movie has a lot of humor, but it also has a lot of heart to it. It's a movie about family. There's a really great scene, and you saw a little bit of it on the trailer, where he jumps off the building and yells Shazam and he flies off.
Mm-hmm.
That whole little sequence right before that is really good. It has to do with finding his real mom and just leave it at that. It's really good. But this movie also has a lot of really cool action scenes. Because there's this other character, this other superhero, or supervillain, her name is Dr. Savannah. And as a child in the 70s, Shazam, the wizard, actually asked him to be his champion, but he didn't have a pure heart. And so he has spent his entire life trying to get back there. Trying to find how to get back there. How
to get back to, okay.
How to get back to the wizard.
Yeah.
Right, because he wants that. He wants that power. Which, no, surprise, surprise, he does. He does find his way back. And he ends up getting endowed with these powers. Not the power from the wizard, but some other evil power. Where basically he has the same type of strength as Shazam does. And so with those two, you get some really, Zod Superman level fights that happen.
Yeah.
By the way, it does take place in the city. They do destroy a building or two, but no one's complaining.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. You don't think there were casualties? There were.
But yeah, I mean, it's good, and there's not really a dull moment. It's funny. It's heartwarming. Like I said, it's a film about family relationships and who's your actual family and who's not. And, I want to talk about it. The big final battle that takes place at a fairground. Something happened there that I did not see coming, and I was so glad I didn't know it was going to happen, that when it did happen, I nearly squealed out loud in the theater. Because it was so awesome. Anyway. Also stay tuned after the movie. There are 2 end credit scenes.
Okay.
A mid that kind of sets up a sequel, and then the end that's just kind of a fun little throwaway bit.
Similar to what they did in Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So out of 5, here's what I'll do this time. Out of 7 deadly sins.
Okay.
Which do have a big story in Shazam. I'm giving it... Well, if I'm doing 7, I'm going to give it 4.
Okay.
4 out of 7. Well, no.
So what does that calculate into 5?
I'm going to give it 5. I'm going to get 5 out of 7. So that's kind of the equal of 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Is what I'm going for there with that metaphor, if somebody lost it. Yeah, it's really good. It's extremely entertaining. It's funny. It's got action. It's got everything you want in a superhero film.
Sweet. Couldn't ask for much more.
Yep. So go see it. I'm telling all of you right now, go see it. Won't regret it.
I'm not sure if I've mentioned this one before, but something that I went ahead and rewatched again. It's called Life After on Netflix. It's a short mini series. I kind of binge watched it and watched it from start to finish. It stars Ricky Gervais, and he plays this character that his wife has recently passed away, and she's left him some videos that she recorded without him knowing while she was at the hospital. And whenever, he came in, he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, just just playing on the computer." And so she recorded like all these things that are really helpful, and they kind of like, he watches one at the beginning of each episode, and then that kind of like helps tell the story and helps like, it comes back full circle. Yeah,
now you mentioned it, I think I've seen a preview of this. I think I've seen him on a couple of talk shows.
Okay.
Talking about this. It sounds really familiar.
This is a fantastic, it's dark and depressing, and it helps if you're in a right state of mind to be watching this, but because he just kind of doesn't care and gives up on life a lot of the times, and his brother-in-law doesn't, because he works at this small podunk newspaper company where he goes around with another gentleman, and they find really random obscure stories of people that, like the people that see Jesus in a tortilla chip, or
right.
Like there was one where it was like their child looks exactly like Hitler, but it's just like, but you just dressed it up. There's another lady that she makes like food products with her own breast milk. It's
Booby food.
That one's one of my favorites. That's hilarious. Just his reaction, and like, cause he doesn't care, so he just says whatever he's thinking to these people, and he doesn't want to be there. He'd much rather just be at home smoking weed and just like drinking. And without giving too much away, there's this guy that he encounters that delivers the newspapers for them, that he just does a lot of, like, he lives out of a what is it, like a storage unit facility building that he just like rents, and he does a lot of drugs, and he's like, like, I'm depressed. I'm just as depressed as you are. We're really similar. And if I had enough money, then I would just do like a ton of drugs and kill myself, basically. And Ricky Gervais is just like, well, how much do you want? Like, here you go. Gives him his whole wallet. Mm-hmm. And like the aftermath and the ramifications of that are just like, man, it's heartwarming, but at the same, like, and it ends really well, but I really thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay.
Out of 5 bicycles, I'm probably sitting at about a 4 as well. Yeah, it was great.
All right.
It's worth checking out if you're in the mood for something like that.
I might check it out. I mean, I like Ricky Gervais. I like his comedy, so I'll probably check it out.
And they do a much better job, because a lot of comedians that try to do acting like this, they incorporate their stand-up way too much into the TV show, and it just doesn't come across well, or it doesn't like work too well. But this one, he doesn't. He like does like a ton of new material, and it works. Yeah.
All right. I have a mobile game recommendation.
Sweet.
Because I play a lot of mobile games. Because I have a lot of downtime. And this was actually recommended to me by Joel.
Okay.
I was talking to him on the phone. It's probably been a couple weeks now. And we were just talking about stuff, and he happened to mention this. And it's a game called Swordigo. That's how you spell it.
Okay.
Swordigo. Swordigo. And the basic, simplest way I can put it, it's like if Mario and Link came together and had a baby, this is the game it would happen. Because it is a side-scrolling game like Mario, but the little character, uses magic, has a sword, and the graphics remind me a lot of like a Zelda game. So I'll go into it here. So if you see, right here, I'm in the Forgotten Keep. And so that's my little guy. So I'm running along. Whoop, jump. So it reminds me, like I said, it reminds me a lot of like a Zelda game.
Are you being timed at all?
No.
Okay.
There's no time limit. But yeah, you just go through these levels, beating up the little creatures you find. There's little bosses at the end of the level. It's a very straightforward game. But for a mobile game, and the fact that the mobile game is free,
yeah, it's
really fun.
Okay.
And it's
just
a good...
downloaded it.
Oh, nice. And it's a good time waster. It's actually fairly challenging in some spots. So it's not one that you can just, run through in a day or something.
Yeah.
Might take you a little bit.
How many levels?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I really haven't gotten that far. And I've been playing it for a bit. But yeah, you can upgrade your weapon, your magic, your health, just like you can in like a Zelda game. But yeah, it's
Are you able to
really
choose
fun.
more create your own character as far as choosing which skills you'd like to unlock?
No. I don't believe so.
Okay. It kind of forces your hand as far
yeah.
You're just earning the XP to be able to unlock these things.
Right. I'm pretty sure you can get different gear, you can get a new weapon, that sort of thing once you start upgrading more and more, but
right.
Yeah, it's just a fun little adventure game.
I like it. That's cool.
For those that are interested.
I do like how it's got all the controls down below so you can still see the screen.
Yes.
A lot of those mobile games that they do, they suffer from your fingers are in the way.
Yep.
Of being able to see the rest of the screen.
Yeah, but that's it's
Swordigo.
It's a fun little mobile game.
Sweet. Well, thanks, Joel.
Yes, thank you, Joel. All right. So, here's where you can find all of our episodes. You can go to worldwarg.podbean.com. We're also on iTunes, Google Play, and cosmicpotato.com. On the social medias, we're also at facebook.com/worldwargpodcast. Also check out our second page, WWG2. A lot of discussions that go on over there. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at WWG Podcast. You can find all of our merchandise if you want to rock a WWG shirt at shop.spreadshirt.com/worldwarg. You can also email us anytime.
Day or night.
At worldwgpodcast@gmail.com. You can also call or text the show at any time at 385-240-1692. So, this has been World War G episode 214. That has been AJ.
That has been Troy.
Stay geeky, my friends.